Hello Epic 7, and today I'm going to be going over certain websites you should be using as a new player, mid-game player, or even a late-game player if you don't already know about it to help benefit your progression in Epic 7. So let's get going. Now, these things range from QOL to things that can actually help you with your game. So let's go to our first website named CeciliaBot. CeciliaBot has a couple of things here which I think is really great, and if you don't already know about it, you should definitely be using this one out of everything here. So first, it has official links to all Stove or Epic 7 related things, so you know how sometimes finding Epic 7 stuff is a bit hard for some reason. Like, you try to look up JP Epic 7 but you can't find it, so you just come here and it has an official link straight to the JP Epic 7 channel, so you can go look at your Frida JP video. But other than that, they have the hero journal right here, and it's pretty useful. You can sort by literally the same things in the 7, which is their element, their class, their rank, their star level, as well as in addition to what star sign they have, which is pretty useful when searching for what character potentially has the same stats as someone else. So if you wanted to prepare for a unit to come out, you can gear another character on your account to try to see what they look like, or just use one of the other sources I'll be going to later in this video. It also comes with the benefit of being able to see all their stat lines at certain levels, as well as a self-imprint if you decide to get it, as well as if they had a speed bonus on them. You can see the percentage values go up and down to see what it changes on their skill. And that is pretty much it for this section. You can also see the artifacts, and it works the same exact way as in the hero section. And once again, you can search by debuff and buffs as well, or effects like combat readiness. So it's not just like it's not just genuine debuffs, it has pushbacks as well. So you can search like that, and you can do the same thing like you can do with the heroes. You can slide to see the different effects for each level. It also has this cool effect that you see in game, which is honestly really freaking nice. It also tells you the hero that it belongs to here. You can come to the hero stats table to see the base stats of every single character in the game. You can see it with the EE equipped if they have an EE, or with like an imprint if they have it, or with the speed set bonus. This is pretty nice for if you're basically looking at some of the new characters that come out and you're wondering, which character has a good amount of base HP? Well, let's go take a look here. So for a base HP amount, we can see that Eaton, Bride Senya, and Emperor Ilanov have the highest base HP, and we have a couple 3 stars here that have the lowest base HP, but I don't want to look at 3 stars, I want to look at 5 stars. So I struck by 5 stars, and I can see, okay, the characters that have the lowest base HP in terms of 5 stars are Architect Leica, Ludwig, and pretty much goes all the way up to Roy Mustang. So I know these characters are really squishier than the rest of the cast, so it can help you gauge how much bulk or how hard it is to build bulk on certain units. We have a database here that is basically the same thing, hero artifacts, but it has the addition of buffs and debuffs, so you can see all the buffs in the game and who has the same of these debuffs, or what artifacts give this buff or debuff. You can see voice actors for people who have multiple characters or not. And you can see the skill sheet spreadsheet multiplier for all the multipliers on your kits, but you can find this under the heroes tab under their skills, so you don't really need to look at that. There's a timeline here, and there's an ultimate timeline that shows every character that has been released in Epic 7 at a certain time, as well as current events and the duration of that current event. You have the camping simulator here, which is pretty useful to newer players, as you should be doing your labyrinth if you haven't done it already. So what you can do here is you can come over here and check to see what is the highest morale teams, and for anyone who's newer, morale means the more morale you have means you can stay in labyrinth longer, meaning you're using less of your labyrinth tokens, so you can progress labyrinth faster. But so say you don't have each of these members, so you can just come over here to the plus sign, go and add units that you have all into the optimize all here, and it'll basically saying, oh, I have this unit, I have this unit, I have this unit, and then it'll come, and then when you sort by and come over here and then select, like, maybe I want Arya, I need these 2 in a team because they're my best 2 geared characters on my account. So then it's gonna pop in all the morale teams that include both of these units, and said other 2 units that are out of your hero pool that can match that morale for your highest one. So it's really useful. It also has these maps here so you can go in and get the most efficient route as possible to once again lower the amount of labyrinth compasses you're using. Last but not least, there's a summon simulator here for all you gotcha dicks who can't stop summoning. Watch me one tap eat. Watch me one tap. One tap. Can you please? 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 What? There we go. 2 Idas. There's a tier list maker here for all you content creators here, so you can help make your own tier list, and it's a pretty nicely or well-made tier list here. It has a lot of selections here. You can do limited only, apply filter, show collab units only. Pretty nice. Or if they have a skin, so you can like rate their skins, I guess. And you could like do this and stuff. Okay, I won't do that. The next website you should be using is the damage calculator. The damage calculator is perfect for if you're trying to see how much damage a unit does in your cast without actually having to go into an actual match and quite rarely go damage test, because as you may know, if you try to damage test certain things, you won't get the perfect conditions, or sometimes you just want to see how high this hits for when you are at an advantage, but you can't really test it out all that much because arena's not that fun and RTA is a freaking RNG house. So you just come over here and you go and you go ahead and just get one of the units that you want to damage test. For instance, I'll go here ahead and slam all of my LHC gear into this damage tester. Okay, so everything here is inside the damage tester. I'm just going to leave this little pinned over here because that is my Lionheart, right? So if I can let me move it, yep, that is my Lionheart build, right? So you can put all the stats in and it shows you exactly how much damage you're going to be doing off your S3. So you just make sure you select all of the required things. Like for instance, Lionheart does get a defense buff when she procs her S2, so you do want to select that. And the target, maybe if they don't have defense buff, that's how much damage I'll be doing. If they have maybe a little bit more on the average side of defense, this is how much damage I'll be doing. Maybe if I wanted to know how much damage I would do if I plus 30 my golden rose, that's how much damage I would be doing. So it really helps you plan out things for your character as well as without needing to actually go into a match. You can even count things like if you have an attack down, if you're at an elemental advantage, if you somehow have rage set, if you have pen set. It has literally everything. So it's the perfect thing to use to gauge how much damage you're going to do, how much damage you're going to do into certain targets, or how tanky you could be against certain things. Like for instance, if how much damage will average Galileo do into my tank? Like you can even do that. Like now you can even calculate how much damage Ilanov is going to mitigate from Lionheart. And if you try to use Lionheart into Ilanov, now you know that you're going to get your damage nerfed. So it's a really good resource to use, and it just helps you plan ahead for your character. So go ahead to check this out. The next source is kind of a 2-in-1. It is basically a little bit of like a secondary source to Fribbels. It's still Fribbels, but it basically just takes the Fribbels gear or Fribbels the Fribbels data and puts it all into this like little like document here, and it shows pretty much what people upload into Fribbels, so you can see hero stat averages to help you build characters a certain way. Now of course we do have if like on Epic 7 here, we have this screen so you can see the top builds that people have here, but it may not be stat accurate or what you're looking for because it just shows what people like. So maybe you like this Lionheart, but you want something that looks like a lot more HP, right? So you can actually come here, go to like a Lionheart Sermia, and go check out every single build that people are running. So you can see the highest percentage build is lifesteal, and then next up right behind is destruction set. And the lower percentage ones is the destruction defense set. But it's also, you do want to do destruction defense set, all you need to do is come over here, click on it, and it's going to sort all of those destruction defenses up here, or you can unselect it if you don't care. You can also see here what are the top builds for the ones that have the highest HP that you like, and you can see, okay, they're running around 275 crit damage on Proof of Valor. Okay, so that's what this build is. Maybe you like Golden Rose artifact more, you select that, check out what are people running. This is Torrent on Destro set, so this is kind of like giga high score, so maybe you don't want this type of build, so you just keep looking. You can look by stuff that has lower gear score, higher gear score, pretty much anything. Now, mind you, this is player build, so as you can see here for this build, this doesn't even look like a good build though, because it's kind of like over capped and everything, right? and it has a lower gear score. Like, so the only problem with this is just it calculates everyone's stats. So if they have better gear, maybe because they spent money or so, it's going to pop up here. So I wouldn't use this as a end all be all reference, but if you're just looking to see stat averages, I think this is pretty decent to look at. Next up, into adjacent to our last what thing you should be using, this is Fribbels Optimizer, which you can actually get off this GitHub website. Just look up Fribbels Optimizer. I can put a link in the description. This is pretty nice to use if you have a bit more gear. And it's for more late game players. If you're early game, I don't think you really need to care about this. Just use your in-game sorter. It will be just as good. But if you have a lot of gear, sometimes using the in-game like set stat sorting, it's kind of like a bit hard because, for instance, I use Fribbels like when I'm trying to come over here and say, okay, I want my Lionheart to get more HP, but you keep looking at your gear combinations yourself and you're not finding stuff because you're like, maybe you're too hesitant to take gear from here or take gear from your other hero, or maybe there's like a gear set combination that you're not thinking of, right? Because you're trying to swap out the neck instead of something else, right? So this can just help you just sort out the gear for you. It'll literally look up every single permutation on your account of gear that can fit or meet a certain stat line for you. For instance, Fire Ravi, I want to get her geared soon, but I don't know what characters I should take stuff off of, and I think it's going to take a bit too long because I have to look at a bunch of stuff. Maybe I'll have to take stuff off my tanks, and I don't want to, so I'm going to put her into here. So I went counter set or destruction set for Ravi, and I want a 2-piece of HP or penetration set. You want to lower this to make sure you're not looking at everything, maybe the top 10% or lower, so that way it's faster and you don't have to look for it too much. We don't want maxed out crit damage because that's a lot of stats. We don't want any crit rate chance, a little bit of speed, want as much HP as we can do, a little bit of defense for survivability. Attack is okay because she still has attack scaling, right? So this is what it would look like, right? And then you can do some other stuff like, hey, the lowest speed I would run is 150, and the highest crit damage is, once again, since we went to balance your stats correctly, I don't want to overcap 290 crit damage. And we're going to aim for maybe 25,000 HP to make sure that we're reaching our stats threshold that we want to. So everything else we can look at. The rest of the stuff here, I'll just provide a link in the description with a full tutorial for Fribbels because I don't want this video to be too long. So now it has found every permutation within the top 10% and it has told me where I can get it from. Like, for instance, the best build I can make with a HP destruction set, it shows me all the stats, HP, the amount of defense I'm getting, the amount of crit damage I'll have, and it has these cool things like MCD, MC damage, HP, which, once again, you can look at a full grip Fribbels guide for this because this is not a full Fribbels guide, and it shows me which characters it is from, so I can just go in game, go to my Ravi, and then go ahead and just go take the gear from the APOC, and you just go in game and just basically do this. Okay, that gear piece is on APOC, put it on her, and you just go swap it on, and you get the stats that are reflected there. Now, this is a third-party art application, so yeah, it's in a little bit of a gray area from Smilegate, so use it at your own risk. And basically, it's not like it's not allowed. It's just that if something happens while using it, Smilegate isn't responsible. But a lot of time players use this, no one has problems. So it's just a little bit of something that will be a little bit easier for mid to late game players. But if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. You can just use the in-game stuff. The next source that you should also be using is Fribbels Guild War Tracker, and if you haven't noticed already, Fribbels has quite a lot of resources for the players to use. Now, if you are ever struggling in Guild Wars, this is the perfect site for you to use because it has many defenses here that people have already fought, and you can see teams that you can potentially use into this team so you can beat it. Now, I would take this with a grain of salt because although it does show the information of what beat that defense, you don't know what gear is on their said units, and you don't know what artifacts and speed tuning and all of this stuff. But if you are like outside of top 100, or you just want to beat it, or just get your positive win rate, this is perfect. You just go over here, and if you're fighting a specific defense, or if you want to build a defense that has a high win rate, you can use this. So for instance, if we head over to my current Guild Wars right now, we have this tower that has Candy, Janu, Alaya, and I don't know what the heck to put into this defense. So let's go take Candy. That's not how you spell Candy. Navy Captain Landy. You go take Janua, and you go take Alaya. And let's say I don't have Galililius to deal with Alaya, so let's remove Galililius so we don't have to include that into our attacks because I don't have her. and we can, oh man, it didn't work. It's probably a little outdated, but either way, it does show a lot of stuff that you can use to fight into the, oh no, I put include hero like a bozo. But you can use exclude hero Galileuus. You can see everything here that doesn't include Galileuus but did beat the defense, or you can include a certain hero if you know that you have a banger Galileuus to fight this Laya. So you put Galileuus in here and it has every single team that beat it with Galileuus. And that is pretty much the 4 websites I would probably recommend the most. The last one would be Epic 7 GG, but I'm pretty sure a lot of players already know about it, because it's literally a big fat button when you go to RTA that literally shows you how to get there. So it's like, I'm pretty sure you can find it pretty easily by just going to match history here. And it doesn't really provide, like, you can see what the top players are playing. So from a PvP perspective, oh, the nickname, oh wow, okay, that's a thing. So like, anyways, you can go to see official players, how they're playing and what stuff they're doing, but like at the same time, you shouldn't, this is kind of the same thing with the hero library. You shouldn't pay too much attention depending on who you're looking at, because they may be at a higher rank or have better gear. But for certain things like maybe KHM's playstyle, you can see how he's drafting what he bans, so for that, maybe that can be beneficial to you. But it really just depends on how you use it and how much you take it to consideration to your own account. But that's pretty much it for every resource that you probably should be using. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.